What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Oh, came in a little hot there. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Aries. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Cause it's General Energy Weekly Spread. I'm not sure what we're doing with the hands, we're just really just kind of winging it at this point. I'm running out of ideas here, Aries. This is gonna get interesting. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aries. So I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we're going to get some details with them tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that like watching Aries, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you'd enjoy them. One of them's actually an Aries, so definitely. But thank you. Let's get to your first card here. Oh, all right, Aries. Looks like we might be carrying some extra weight here because you got the 7th card of Pisces, which is the baggage card. And with this card, this is a card of excess, unresolved issues, held together, preparedness, pack rat, fearing separation, heavy burdens, responsibility, necessities, prepared to go, next phase, and long journey. And energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the unresolved issues. And so if we have some things, this could be, I don't know, this doesn't necessarily have to be anything maybe super old, but, this might be something where, well, we'll talk about it, because maybe for some there might be some childhood things that might have dealt with, or maybe something in our youth that we may have been kind of hold on to, and that may have channeled its energies into how we react today. Whether this is maybe comes through as impulsiveness or aggression, or maybe even like maybe when we've just been operating from a place of sadness, even, or something along those lines, or it's always interesting how these these different kind of triggers and things sort of like respond when we have things that are left resolved, or things that we keep buried down, or something along those lines, Aries. And we want to be kind of careful with that, because one of my favorite lines of another reader had said this a little while back, and I enjoyed that, but you gotta feel it to heal it, and it may not always be easy, and I would never say to force this type of stuff, Aries, but as it makes sense, if you notice that it's becoming such a burden, or it's getting to this way where it's really kind of hindering your growth, we do kind of need to get some eyes on this thing, because it does affect, even if we're not addressing that stuff, it manifests in different kind of ways, whether it be in the relationships that we form, or or the things that we do. And this may not even be something like super old. This might be something here recently. Maybe we hadn't gotten like an argument or a disagreement with someone, or maybe there's just, maybe even getting this energy of something that's needing some sense of closure, even if we can't necessarily resolve things. Maybe things have gotten beyond that point, and it's just like we may need to find this energy of maybe like forgiveness, or maybe just like again of just like maybe seeing things from a newer perspective, or something along those lines. And I feel like regardless of how this may be manifesting, Aries, just thinking with like Pisces energy, Pisces is a very compassionate sign, and I feel like that as you're going through this thing, treat these sides of you that may have manifested in these maybe sort of like what we might view as kind of ugly ways, or something along those lines. We want to treat all aspects of who we are, Aries, with the same level of compassion. Because when we do, we can turn those kind of those even more darker sides of ourselves and turn those into just really those dark ambassadors into like really kind of powerful allies. And then it becomes where we're not reactive anymore, you know? For example, I had a little instance like maybe a few months back where I wouldn't even say that it necessarily had anger issues, but anger was always a one like when I would get really frustrated, I would like, okay, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, and then I wouldn't be, and they would just be explosive, and it was never in anyone or everything, but it was always in like it would be like a situation where I'd be just really upset with myself, and one day I just kind of had. I let it out. You know, you create a safe space for it. You deal with it. You get eyes on it, and then it's a can be a painful process at first. But man, when you get on the other side of it, you feel just so much lighter. You know, because now you got eyes on it. But and you got to see it to be it, Aries. But that's another all these sayings that I got, Aries. I picking up from people along the way. But let's get into the tarot. Thank you. All right, Aries. Let's see what's going on here. All right, Aries. So you have the Magician, the Eight of Pentacles, and then the Six of Wands in reverse, and then you have the Knight of Swords, and then the Four of Cups here. And that's interesting because I almost feel like with the Four of Swords, or excuse me, with the Four of Cups here, that there's this energy of, and with the Knight of Swords, that there's this energy of maybe for some it's like we're trying not to care about this issue. You know, maybe this is just that we're trying to ignore how this thing makes us feel because it might make us feel quite a bit, Aries. Because this card here, the Four of Cups, this is the Moon in Cancer. And we may be doing this thing where, and that's a very, where the moon rules over Cancer. That is a very emotional placement for the moon. That allows her to feel however she wants to feel because she's at home in her home sign. But I feel like that for some it's just like that because maybe of the intensity or just like the uncomfortableness of it, we just tend to just sort of like breeze past this thing. Because where the Knight of Swords, he's a very fast moving knight. You know, one of the trickiness with him is that he doesn't take a moment to reflect on maybe how these past experiences have affected us and seeing how and not really understanding how this stuff has manifested and affects the way that we operate and manifest and create and things along those lines. And Aries, where it may be tough, but it's one of those things that is part of the journey. It's not because with the Six of Wands, it's like everyone here is just celebrating the fact that this person has gotten from this long journey. It's been fantastic, but in order to get to that state of celebration, there needs to be a challenge along the way, something that we need to work on, something that may have become habitual. And again, it just feels like with this energy, it's just like that. It's like we feel like that maybe if we just like sort of acknowledge it and just sort of like just I don't know, it's like it just feels like if we I'm almost getting just like all right, well, like it's just I just am who I am and that's just it. That's the kind of energy that I'm giving, this sort of just like settling on, just letting it be unresolved and being healed or just not being healed or things along those lines. I'm even like the energy that's even kind of come through, Aries, I'm just thinking about in your chart placements, like when you deal with like Chiron energy. Chiron's is like that it's that wound that's been left on us that we need to just kind of address. And like that, the energy of Chiron is like the story behind him is that there's that centaur who was the healer, but he got wounded and wasn't able to heal his own wound, but he was immortal. So it's just like it was this weird kind of energy that's coming through here, and I feel like that is just we're letting this thing kind of just bleed out and just kind of letting it just lead to our just detriment here, something along those lines. But let me get a little bit more on the Magician here, Aries. It almost feels like that with even the Magician. That's Mercury energy, and it just feels like the way that maybe we, that deals with how we think. One of the aspects, and I feel like that the way that we think about it is just kind of backwards, even just with the Magician being upside down here. But let me get some more on that. Because maybe even for some, it's like it may not even be. Yeah, let me get a little bit more on that, Aries, before I get into that. Alright, so the Magician is clarified by the Page of Swords and then the Two of Swords in reverse. And it may be, I feel like maybe even for some, it's just like maybe we're not even sure what this thing is. But I almost feel like with the Magician energy, there's a need to be, I feel like, more inquisitive about why it is that, I don't know, we operate the way that we do. If there's certain aspects of ourselves that we don't like, it's just like, because for some, I feel like it's like we know the source of this thing, but it's just we're choosing not to work on it just because of the difficulty of it. But for some others, it's just like it's manifesting in weird kind of ways, just like certain impulses, or again, maybe certain relationships and things along those lines. And there's a need to, I'm almost even getting like hermit energy to just kind of take a moment and to reflect on what is going on here. And because it just feels like that we've just been in this state of, it's almost like when it happens, it's like we sort of sit with it, but then it's just like because we don't understand, don't really give it that time again, just kind of rushing through this stuff with the Knight of Swords, that it just stays unchecked, and it just stays like a thing there, Aries. And Well, all right, Aries. I think I'm gonna move on that, or move from that. But I feel like we can only keep. You see how this Two of Swords here? How this figure? She's got this blindfold on here. I feel like we can only ignore this stuff so long there and just go around. Just you almost feel like that she's just like trying to keep this. She's like on guard, but it's just like she doesn't know what she's guarding herself from, or that's trying to defend herself from here, Aries. So yeah, just something to kind of think about there. But let's get another oracle on the mix. Oh. Thank you. All right, Aries. So you got the 5th card of Capricorns here, which is the Dear John card. And with this card, this is a card of rejection, cold hard truth, breaking up, set boundaries, divorce, strained situation, it's not you, it's me, the end, final word, cutting cords, and something's not working. And the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is a cold hard truth. And I feel like with whatever this is, these unresolved issues, this baggage that we might need to face, or that we may be ignoring here, or that we're just not, I don't know, it feels like that there's a need to really kind of, because maybe even for some, it's like maybe we don't, it's like we don't think that we have a problem. And it's like, I'm not saying that we're looking for issues, Aries. This is something where I feel like this is like a behavior or a tendency that's been going on for a while here. Just like something that it's like ingrained here. And it's just like we got so used to doing it that it's just like, I don't know, like and this might be something where maybe if we don't understand this type of thing, when I talk with like Virgo and Gemini, because that's who Mercury rules, they have such overactive minds and things, and even just kind of air signs in general. But they really have, those two in particular really have overactive minds, being Mercury ruled. And I always tell them sometimes it's just like it's good to just kind of like jot this stuff down or write this out, or this might even be something where we might even need to do some creativity, because you're a very creative sign, Aries, being a fire sign, and I don't know, just being the initiators, you rule the head, you really are, really is incredible. And I feel like that maybe we can find some of this truth here in some form of expression, whether that be through writing, maybe it be through dance, any sort of way that it can kind of get you in a more type of intuitive space, or into that sort of like just something to help you kind of tap into that subconscious mind. Maybe this is something where you're active in an active dreamer there, Aries, and there might be some messages in your dreams. Maybe keeping a dream journal by you if you have troubles recalling things, or but I do feel like that there's something that we do that we might be kind of pushing down to the side here. I'm just kind of thinking with like Capricorn energy. They have a way of kind of pushing their emotions aside when they need to get to business, but you want to be careful about, ignoring that stuff too long, because as things fester and fester and fester, and then they manifest in very, very sneaky ways. So let's get some tarot on this. A lot of that been going around here. Thank you. And what I'm talking about, Aries, is the sun's been kind of popping up in reverse for quite a few signs here lately. And speaking of Gemini, so you have the Sun and the Three of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Lovers and the Nine of Wands here, Aries. And I feel that there is something that's needing to be healed with this Three of Swords here, Aries. And again, just as it makes sense, but it feels like that there's this, I don't know, it's like that either there's this, it's either paying attention to where these energies are, like this, like, because the sun is like, it's been giving me that there's a needed to kind of shine some light on some things. There's something that's really getting in the way of your happiness. This could be some kind of childhood thing. Just thinking with the sun that deals with Leo energy. In the fifth house, and maybe this is something where we've been feeling kind of blocked as of late, creatively, or even just in life. Maybe haven't been feeling inspired or something along those lines, but. And I'm almost even kind of getting with the Nine of Wands here. It's just like we've been, I don't know, it's like we've been kind of just like pushing through and just like trying to get over this thing here. But it's just like our energies are starting to wane here. So it's getting to be, well, I don't know, where it's becoming a lot. And I feel like dealing with this stuff is a lot here, Aries. But it's just like for some, there's this choice that's coming through here with the Lovers. It's like we can either, again, choose to face the stuff here or choose to ignore it. But then that's how tower moments start. That's your ruler, Mars. And even too with the Lovers, this for me is like your higher self trying to reach out to you. And I don't feel like it's anything like super aggressive, but it's just like there are these signs here that higher self is trying to signal you, because I feel like the higher self really tries to keep tower moments internal, so that leaves it up to us to try to be the initiators of change, which, you're the initiator of the Zodiac, Aries, so look at you. But when we don't, then that's when tower moments start to happen to us, to force us to take action and to force us to change, or to not. But it's just going to be a tough journey. Things are just going to keep repeating themselves over and over again, and we're just going to get in this sense of like almost feeling like stuck in like Groundhog Day. And it's just going to make this journey just that much more arduous and things along those lines. Because yeah, let me get a little bit more with the Lovers. Interesting. Thank you. All right, Aries. So the Lovers is clarified by the Two of Wands in reverse, and then you have the Queen of Wands upright, or excuse me, Queen of Swords upright. And I feel there's a lot to think about here with this energy. Consider Queen of Swords popping up on the Lovers hand. You're racking up some pretty strong sword court cards here with the Lover, or excuse me, with the Page, Knight, and the Queen of Swords. And And again, this could be, maybe for some, this could be a family thing, you know, just like, because those are the people here, right? Yep. So, and I don't know, Aries, I do feel like that maybe for some it's like we feel like this energy of like something is out of control, like that it's like, yeah, it's just something, it's just like it feels like something is habitual or something along those lines, and it's just like it doesn't need to be. I feel like because the lovers is a choice card as well, but I do feel like there's a need to again tune into why this stuff may be happening here, and hmm. Yeah, just really thinking about some ways that we can kind of change here, because I feel like it's just like maybe even like a thought process. I'm looking at the Queen of Swords' crown here, and they got the butterflies on here, and the butterflies are, you know, signs of like metamorphosis and things. And Aries. All right. Well, I went from something to think about to maybe a lot to think about here. But let's get a little more tea, Aries, and then let's get your last oracle card. Hmm. I like that, Aries. Thank you. All right, so you got the ninth card of Cancers here, which is the Rainbow card. And with this card, this is a card: wish granted, serendipity, blessings, patience pays off, abundance, hope, good luck, patience, promise, godsend, creation, manifesting wealth, prosperity, and perfect timing. And the energy that's coming through here, yeah, the energy that's coming through here, Aries, is the patience pays off. And maybe for some it's just like I feel like maybe we haven't been patient with this when dealing with this thing. It's just like maybe we start off trying to doing this healing, and then it gets too hard, and then we pull back, and then we just sort of like resort back to that again, to that same sort of routine again of you know, just sort of like powering through and just like, oh, I can tough this out and things along those lines. And you know, you're a tough sign, Aries, I don't doubt that for a second. But I feel like it's because really it's kind of, this whole card is really sort of resonating in a way like it. But in order to get to that wish granted, that blessing, serendipity, that sunlight that's coming through here, I feel like there's a need to be patient with ourselves, and really kind of deal with these hmm deal with these emotions that we may be kind of been keeping bottled down or something along those lines, and pay attention to that reactive type of energy. Because okay, so I feel like it's because even this, like, the Cancer energy is really kind of coming through here. And my sun signs in Cancer, and let me tell you something, Aries, when you do that, when you do things to kind of keep that stuff bottled down, whether it's keeping yourself busy or maybe even some sort of escapism or anything along those lines, and block out those channels, you're blocking out your abundance, you're blocking out your growth. And I did that for a long time, and where it didn't necessarily affect my abundance as a whole, it it affected to the way that I didn't appreciate it like I could have, or like, and like I do now. You know, even in kind of like tougher situations there, Aries. But yeah, I do feel like there's a need, if you, especially if we've just been kind of ignoring these things, because maybe we see it as weak or something along those lines. You know, however that might resonate with you, or maybe we've been told that that was weak, or let's get some tarot on this. All right, Aries, last little bit here. So you have the Ace of Swords, the King of Cups in reverse here, and then you have the Three of Cups upright. And then let's switch back over here, Aries. Because I feel like with this energy, there's something here. I feel like that there may be a thought or like a because the aces are kind of like my seed cards in a sense, and I feel like that there's a thought that's something that's been ingrained maybe in us or something along those lines that is really kind of thrown us off balance here with the King of Cups being in reverse. Because the King of Cups is kind of like my head and heart card, really kind of being in alignment there, The King of Cups observes, he's about that emotional wisdom. And he observes, he's throned on an ocean, and he observes he never attaches, but observes the emotions, the things that happen in the ocean and what's going on there, analyzes them, processes them, and then lets them go, and then keeps that energy moving. But it's when we get fixated on something is when we get lost in that ocean. And this may be something where if we've been feeling kind of lost or not been able to understand this thing, you're in a judgment-free zone here, Aries. This might be something where, and this is not medical advice, but maybe it's something where we see a professional possibly, or maybe even just as simple as maybe just getting around and maybe just talking with some close friends about with this, or, maybe just like getting some opinions about some things, because even that can even bring about this, because I know that's not for everyone, Aries, and that could even bring about this energy of catharsis and things along those lines, just because this is the Three of Cups is Mercury in Cancer, and I like that actually came up with the King of Cups, because that's your head and your heart being in alignment there, and that is a cause for celebration, especially when we do get eyes on these, whatever this is that may be kind of deterring us and keeping us in this loop, or keeping us maybe stuck in this cycle here, something along those lines. But again, with the Knight of Swords, I feel like it's something we can't breeze through. It's not to say that it's going to take forever, but it will require a little bit of patience and a little bit of time in order for, I feel like, that stuff to really be fully integrated and really be in this place of celebration and things along those lines, Aries. So just something to kind of think about that, Aries. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Aries, if you know someone who's been, I don't know, been either ignoring some things or just been kind of just breezing by and just like, I don't know, like it's interesting how this has kind of come through. It's like maybe we're like working through this stuff, or however this might be looking, Aries. Share this. And then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified when I have these videos each week. And then lastly, since you resonated with Cancer energy there, maybe some of you, if you got any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. It's a Cancer exclusive channel, for just wherever your Cancer placements are at. And it's a good old time. You ain't got to be a Cancer or Aries. If you just want to come kick it with us anyway, I dig your energy. I think you're always welcome. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get you the prize cards here, so I can get you out of here, Aries. Because look at you. One of your cards here. Got the Queen of Wands in reverse. And I feel like with the Queen of Wands popping up, it almost feels like that maybe you have been in retrograde, Aries. Like you haven't been yourself, Maybe we've been leaning into the more lower vibrations of ourselves, because I feel like people just, when they think of your sign, they think of just like aggression and impulsiveness and recklessness and things along those lines. But the Queen of Wands she's creative, she's passionate, she's fun, she's intuitive, but when she is in reverse, it is that's someone to look out for. She's a spitfire. She brings a lot of heat. And we want to be mindful of that heat, because you are Aries. That Aries I was actually talking about was one who had I was listening to like a Leo reading once, and just on a whim. This is right before I had actually really started checking them out. I just really just kind of clicked on them on a whim, and because I'd been seeing kind of pop up in my feed, and I was like, why not? And led me to this book, and then I still haven't finished it. Like, the things have been just kind of happening. I need to pick that back up, but I did get a very valuable tool from it, and you know, I feel like something, Aries, that there is a need. There's something that's needing to be healed here. You know, when the Queen of Wands is in reverse, when she's not following the sunlight here, because she's got this sunflower here, because sunflowers always point to where the sun is, and so I feel like it's just like we're not sure where the sun is right now. And that's a tough place to be. But the fact that the sun's here, I like that, because all we got to do now, we just got to do is find it, you know? And what a journey that is. Looking for that sunlight, that happiness, to bask in that warmth. Whew, I love that. But let's get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here, Aries. Huh. I like that, Aries. And look at that. Look at all your gold glittering in the sunlight here. You got the 16th card, which is all that glitters. And the 16th card energy is tower energy there. But look at what happens when we get through that tower. You know, then we find abundance. Get to your rainbow there. Your wish granted, your sunlight, all this stuff here, Aries. And I feel like that it is remembering that when we're going through this tough time right now, so you're not always going to be just in that stuck energy, you know, where it's just going to be hardships and King of Cups in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, Sun in reverse. That there is, you know, you put in that work. It almost gives me like kind of like how Saturn rewards. You put in that work, then there is a treasure trove waiting on the other side of you. But, you know, it's just like and I'm even kind of getting with this too, just kind of looking at these masks. You know, I feel like for some, it's just like being careful about feigning that everything is okay. You know, and just like, just something to be careful of, just with that as well. You know, just like kind of like, yeah, just, I hope you get what I'm saying with that, Aries. But I do like where this is, where that's heading, Aries. You know, healing, you know, abundance, whatever that looks like for you. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out there, Aries. You know, with these, you know, if we got any unresolved issues, and, you know, be honest with yourself. Because it's okay to have stuff that we need to heal from. We all got something that we can do. It's all part of the journey, all part of that growth. But, you know, Queen of Wands loves a challenge. I imagine you do too, Aries. So, and make sure, Aries, you know, raise your vibration to the roof. You know, do some, maybe hang out with some friends, maybe just, you know, some close people you trust, or maybe even just getting outside, even just, you know, if you can, the weather permitting, you know, basking in the sunlight, getting out in nature, you know, giving yourself some time to just kind of think about this stuff here. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.